And today everyone at 11 o'clock was going to sit down and do a minute of remembrance for all the NHS staff and for the people that have lost their lives working on the front lines. So I thought we'll start the practice today with a minute of silence, but we'll do some breathing exercises first just to center ourselves, and then we'll go straight into a minute of silence in honor of them. And then we'll get into the practice. Yeah. So come and find a seated position at the center of your mat, and just come in to awareness of your breath. Oh, sorry, I'll mute everyone first. Let me just mute everyone. Mute, and then mute. Cool. Able to get the clock. Okay, sorry, we'll start again. Come and sit down. And just bring in, just arrive on the mat and let everything go. Anything that you've been thinking about up until this point, just arrive here in the present moment. Bring in awareness into your breath. Softly breathing in through your nose. And then sighing out through the mouth. And exhaling. And again, inhaling softly through the nose. And then a big sigh out through the mouth. And one last time, inhale. And then exhale. And then returning back to your normal breath. And just noticing the air coming in and out of your nostrils. Slowing the body down. As we exhale, trying to exhale our breath slightly longer. As we lengthen our exhale, that's what brings our body down from the sympathetic or the fight and flight state into the parasympathetic nervous system, which should be our natural, relaxed and resting place. So continuing, breathing slowly, filling up the belly and the lungs, and exhaling slowly and gradually, slowing the breath down. Relaxing your face, your eyebrows, and your eyes. Softening in between your eyebrows and down your nose. Softening in between the backs of the jaw, in between the teeth. And making the tongue heavy. And softly opening the lips slightly to just release the jaw. Relaxing your earlobes and your neck, back of your neck where your spine meets your skull, relaxing everything and arriving on the mat. And we'll do a breathing exercise. Let me explain it first. You're going to breathe in for 4 beats, and then you'll hold for 7, and then you'll exhale for 8. So it's called the 4, 7, 8 breath. So we'll just breathe in normally together, and exhale all together. And now inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1, and hold. 3, 2, 1, and exhale. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and inhale. And pause. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and exhale for 8. 3, 2, 1, and inhale for 4. And hold. And exhale. Inhale for 4. Holding for 7. And exhaling for 8. Two more times at your own pace. And then returning back to your normal breath, noticing if your breath is any different to before you started. Now that we've slowed our body down, we're just going to sit here in a meditation all together. I'm going to keep the time for you, and it's in remembrance and thanks and gratitude to all the NHS staff, all the frontline workers, everyone that is out there risking their life and their health every day to help the wider community. And so we're just sitting here in gratitude for them in a minute of silence. So I'm going to keep the time, and at the end I'll sound my bowl to end the meditation. Then bringing awareness back into your fingers and your face and your toes, giving everything a little bit of wriggle. And then we'll just slowly start Here's a few little Steffi grinds. So bring the chest forward and then back. As we lean forward, we're breathing in. As we go backwards, we're exhaling. So just rotating at the hips and maybe staying in one position, breathing into that area. Just connecting with the breath and inviting a little bit of movement into the hips and the spine. And then rotating the other way. Again, synchronizing your breath with the movement. And then finally coming back to stillness, making a nice long spine. And then we're just going to walk our hands forward, spider forward, and dropping our chest in front of our body. And just dropping our chest and our head onto the earth. And feeling a nice stretch from our fingers all the way down the sides of our body into our hips and our lower back. And then just breathing into that. And then maybe we spread our hands over to one side, over to the left corner. Feel a bit more of a side stretch in our body. Releasing the head, dropping the head. As we exhale, releasing any tension. And then spidering our hands across to the other side, to the right corner. Breathing into the left side, filling up all the lung. And then exhaling and releasing, softening into the pose. And just noticing how the posture changes as we bring more awareness into our breath. And then we come back to center. And we'll just slowly come back up. Walking our hands back up to seated. So, and then you might want to cross your feet over. So now we're kind of sitting in the other leg on top, which might feel a bit unnatural. And then again, we'll walk our fingers forward and drop our body down, surrendering into the earth. Breathing into the hip and the lower back. Walking our hands over to the left side and breathing into the right side. Slowing our breath down. And then walking our hands back over to the other side. And breathing in again into the side body. Remembering to relax the face and the neck. And walking our hands back to center. And then slowly pushing ourselves back up to seated. Yeah. And then bringing our legs forward in front of us. So to wide-legged onto the sides of our mat and placing our hands behind us. We're just going to push open our chest as though like a puppet is pulling our chest up to the sky. Shoulder blades coming back. And just inhaling and opening the chest. And then dropping our hips to one side of the mat. for a little twist in the spine, and then we'll do the same to the other side. And continuing that motion with the breath, inhaling as we're coming up, exhaling as we bring our knees to one side. Again, starting the breath before the movement, flopping our knees from side to side like windshield wipers. And then once you've done an even amount on both sides, you can sit back up and then come forward into a tabletop position. Nice wide-legged tabletop position, so knees coming to the outside of our mat, feet meeting in the middle, and then dropping our bottom back towards our heels, dropping our chest and our head onto the mat. And again, remembering to breathe, softening into the pose, releasing the hips and the lower back. And then bringing our chest forward, and then up and pushing through the top of our spine, and our hips come back. So we're just kind of rotating through kind of wide-legged child's pose and cat-cow. So just going through this motion, pushing through the spine, hips come back. A nice circular motion, chest dragging along the middle of the mat, pushing up through the top of the spine, sending the hips backwards. And continue with the breath, noticing, waking up the spine. And then meeting in a tabletop, still with our knees wide. And we'll bring our left hand to the middle of the mat and open up our right hand to the top, to the ceiling. And then exhaling, we're going to bring our hand under, threading the needle, exhale, and coming back down. And then we'll do the same motion again, inhaling, reaching up, opening up the chest, and then slowly bring the hand back down, trying to make our exhale last the same amount of distance as our movement. And again, for the third time, opening up our chest. And this time as we exhale, we're going to feed the hand under, but we're going to stay down. Feel a nice stretch in your shoulder, and just release the head onto the mat. And the free hand can come above your head, stretching out in front of your head. And you might like to spiral across the corner of the mat. You might feel a bit more of a side stretch. So you can just play around with what feels good in your body. Listen to your body's innate wisdom and what it's asking for you to do today. The other option is to bring it across your body to the opposite hip, and you can just grab onto the opposite hip crease and you'll feel a nice opening in that top shoulder. And then again, remembering to breathe and surrender into the mat. Taking some time to care for your body, nurture your body. And if your hand is on your hip, you can release the hand and bend the elbow so your hand is placed near your head, and you can use it to bring your body back up, opening up to the sky, lifting up the hand, and then returning back to tabletop. And now we'll put the hand in the middle, so our right hand should be in the middle of the mat, and we're doing the same thing, lifting up the left hand, opening up our chest to the sky, and then exhaling, slowly bringing the hand, threading through the needle down to the mat. And again, slow movement. How slow can you open your hand up to the sky? How long can you make your breath last? Slowing down our system into a nice and relaxed state through the meditation of our movement and our breath. In this one, we're going to stay down, feeding the hand under, dropping our head down, and then taking your option with your top hand, walking the fingers out above your head, nice long stretch in the body, and you might go further over to the left side of the mat, or you might bring it across your body and grab the opposite hip crease, opening up the shoulder, and then remembering to breathe. And then releasing the hand, bending at the elbows, the hand is placed near your face, so we can push back up into a normal tabletop, and then using the hands to lift up so we can bring our knees back in. So we're at a standard tabletop, hands directly under our shoulders and knees directly under our hips now. And just rocking from side to side, seeing how this is feeling for us. And then doing a few little bit of hand yoga or wrist yoga. It's wrist health, turning the palms, the fingers to face your body. You might just want to do one at a time, so just see how it feels in your wrist. You might want to do one wrist at a time, or it may be comfortable for you to do both at the same time. Just go slowly. And then rocking backwards and forth on your wrists, giving it a nice stretch out, especially for those that have been doing lots of typing. And then walking the hands back around and turning the hand over. So we're going to come onto the front of our hand, just breathing into the wrist here. Again, coming forward takes a bit of pressure off, so you might want to lean forward a bit when you're first doing this to see how it feels, and then you can slowly come backwards to deepen the stretch. And then releasing that hand, we'll do the other one. So turning back of the hand onto the mat. Again, just rocking backwards and forth, stretching out the wrist. And then coming back to center. Then curling up our toes and sending our hips backwards, trying not to push too much weight into our hands. We're going to use our knees and our hips to push our body up into down facing dog. And just pedaling out the feet here, lifting both ankles up, bending the knees, and then exhaling, bring the ankles down further towards the mat. And then inhaling and rolling our body forward into a plank position. And then we're going to bend our knees and then push our hips back towards the back of the mat, up to the sky, into down facing dog. And then we'll roll our body forward again, pushing through the shoulder blades into plank position, dropping our knees, and our hips come back towards downward facing dog. And again, rolling one more time. And then we're going to end in a plank position all together. Dropping the knees. And then slowly just rolling our body down. And resting our cheek on the earth. And seeing how our body feels, just rocking our hips from side to side here. Then bring one hand to the side, one hand to the front, into an L in front of our face. And then slowly just pushing our body up to the side. Yes, it's only a tiny little stretch of the thoracic spine. It's like a baby when they're trying to push up. Yeah. And again, other side, switching the L, pushing up a tiny bit. And then if you'd like a tiny bit of a deeper stretch, you can come closer towards your body and your face, bending at the elbows a bit more. And that will allow you to push up a tiny bit higher. Just play around with wakening up the thoracic spine. And again, remember to breathe, inhaling through your nose. And exhaling through the mouth. Once you've done an even amount on each side, bringing our hands back close to our body. And then sending our hips back to a child's pose. And then bringing our hands up, reaching up to the sky. And then bringing our hands down through our center into our heart. Bringing our hands wide. Reaching up to the ceiling, then exhale again into child's pose. And then we'll snake our body forward, again into lying down on our mat. And rest our other cheek on the mat now, rocking our hips from side to side. And then bringing our hands just to the outside of our mats, with our fingers pointing, as though we're like covering a little cupcake, yeah, and using that to press up our body. And as we exhale, we roll the spine back down. And again, peeling up, pushing through the top of the shoulders and the thoracic spine, keeping our shoulders down away from our ears. Then rolling on the exhale back down. And one more time, rolling up. And then rolling back down. And bring our hands back to the side of our body, curling up the toes, sending our hips back, coming to tabletop, and then pushing back to downward facing dog. And then slowly walking our feet up to the top in between our hands and just hanging here. Grabbing both elbows, just releasing at the hips. And then slowly rolling our body up, vertebrae by vertebrae, up to the top of the mat. Sorry, up to standing position, sorry. Rolling our shoulders behind. Too relaxed, I don't know what I'm saying. Hands by our sides, standing nice and tall. Then we inhale, we're going to reach up to the sky. And then slowly fold our body down, bending generously at the hips and painting the wall down, all the way down to there. And then coming up halfway to a flat back and exhaling, coming back down, sliding our body down, chest touching the tops of the thighs. And then we're going to come up, again bending nice at the knees. Hands come nice and wide in a V, all the way up to standing, and then our hands come through to our heart. And we'll try that one more time. Inhaling, bring our hands wide. And then bending the knees nice and generally, painting the wall down in front of us. Chest comes down and touching the tops of our thighs as we forward fold, touching the earth. Inhaling, bringing our body up to a halfway, and then exhaling, coming back down, touching the earth. Hands come wide. As we inhale, we reach up to the top of the ceiling. Nice big stretch. And then exhaling, our hands come down into our center. And then we're just going to stand here for a moment, feeling nice and grounded through the feet. And then rolling the neck down, slowly, slowly. Then the shoulders, then the knees. And we come down to place our hands either side of our foot. We're going to step our left foot back first, dropping the back knee. And just bring our hands to the top of our leg. So in a low lunge here, and just rocking backwards and forward. Nice little pulses here, opening up the hip. Placing our hands back down, and then sending our hips back into a runner's lunge. Releasing the back of our leg. Breathing into our leg. And then coming forward again. Coming onto our toes and then stepping forward, back, in between our hands. And folding again here. And rolling our body up. Vertebrae by vertebrae. Up to standing. Shoulders and our neck coming last. And then we'll roll our body back down. Neck first, then our shoulders. Hands coming down the front of our shins, bending nice and generously at the knees. Touching the earth, and this time we're going to step our left foot back to the back of the mat. Dropping the back knee down, hands come onto the top of our leg. And inhale, we're just going to come forward, come back, and just nice little pulses. Seeing how that feels in our body. Then hands either side of our front foot, sending our hips back into a runner's lunge. Come high on our fingers. And just breathing into the backs of the legs, not forcing anything. It's a nice deep stretch. Dropping the head and the neck and letting everything go. And coming forward again. Chest comes forward, inhale. Turning the toes under and stepping the foot back in between our hands. Just hanging again here. And then dropping our bottom down to the earth. And we're sitting back here. Dropping our feet in front of us to a little butterfly position. Come on. Give ourselves a bit of love, a bit of a massage. Massaging the toes. Massaging the feet. And the ankles. Coming up the thighs. Sorry, the calves. And then inhaling, making our spine nice and long. And then looking over in front of our feet. And then coming forward, bringing our chest towards our toes. So keeping our chest open still. We might use our elbows to press into the sides of our legs if that's comfortable. You might even want to, again, crawl out your hands in front, but as long as we're leading with the chest when we come down. And then pressing away your body and picking up the right leg, bring the other foot in just a tiny bit, picking up the right leg, we'll just open up the hip here. So you've got a little baby in between your hands. Opening up the hip. And then we're going to use that leg to come out and place the heel carefully down on the ground. Bring in our body to face our toes. Yeah. Maybe moving the fleshy bits off your bottom out. Yeah. And then inhaling, facing our foot, bending at the knee slightly, and exhaling, we're going to bring our chest again towards our leg. And you might touch the top of your leg or your ankle or behind your foot, wherever you're at, that's okay. And just bending nice and generously in the knee so that we're not collapsing into the pose and that we're protecting the knee joint. As we inhale, we make our body long, and as we exhale, release more into the pose. And again, noticing how when we bring awareness into the breath, we're able to deepen and release our muscles. And then walking away our hands, and we'll swap our legs over, so carefully bring this one in and getting the opposite foot, and we're just going to open up the hip. So you've got a little baby, so you're cradling yourself, giving yourself a bit of self-love. Maybe you can kiss the top of your knee. Opening up the hip, and might even feel comfortable to have it out like this as well. You can play around with just opening up the hips, doing some little circles, and then carefully holding the outside of the foot and just carefully bringing it out so that the heel touches the ground, and then you can slide the heel along and then turn the body so that we're facing the heel. Inhaling, reaching up, and as we exhale, still bending at the knee, we're just going to bring our chest towards our foot, and you might notice that this leg feels different to the other one, and that's okay. Just meeting your body where you're at today. Slow breaths in and slow breath out, releasing. Maybe you drop your head. Then slowly pushing away with your hands. Walking away again. Then bringing both of our feet back together. I'm just going to roll our spine, slowly, bringing our hands in between our legs and just slowly roll our spine back down to the ground. Slowly, each vertebrae at a time. And then bringing one foot across the other one. So we're going to make a figure four here. One foot across. Yeah, and then threading your hand in between the leg, and the other hand comes behind the hamstrings. And we're just pulling slightly to bring the legs closer to your body. You feel a nice stretch in the right glute. And if you like a deeper stretch, you can grab onto the shin and gradually bring everything closer to your body. And again, not forcing anything, but using the breath to relax into the pose. Remembering to soften all parts of your body, your face, and your chest. And then releasing back down. And we'll slowly swap our legs over. We'll just take a minute in the middle just to notice the difference between both legs. And then when you're ready, crossing the opposite foot across our leg, so into a figure four, and then thread the hand under to pull your hamstring closer towards your body. Breathing in, you might be able to use your elbow slightly to push the bent leg. That can also deepen the stretch, but just do what feels good in your body. And the option to also hold onto the shins. And just remembering our deep breathing. And as we exhale, imagining all the muscles around our hip release and relax and soften. As we inhale, sending love and compassion to that area. And then slowly again releasing the feet back down, so both feet are touching. And extending the right leg along the ground. Yeah, so one knee is still bent, and the bent knee is going to come across our body, so coming into a slight twist, looking over the left shoulder. And again, breathing into the lower back. Then using our hand to help our knee come back up. Placing the foot back down and extending the leg down. And then we'll bring the other foot up, bending at the right knee, and then bringing the right knee over to our left side. And looking over our right shoulder. And feeling the release in the lower back and the hips. Feeling the nice opening of the chest. And observing your breath rise and fall. Noticing how the posture changes as we exhale. And then coming back, using the hand to help your knee back over. And we'll bring the other leg up. I'm just going to end with happy baby. Just making our spine nice and long against the mat. And then our feet come up. And we're going to grab the outsides of both of our feet. So our hands will be coming in between our knees. Yeah, and then we push up with our feet. And we'll feel as though our knees are trying to come in between our elbows. Yeah, so have a bit of playfulness and care here. Maybe stretch one leg up, just play around like a little happy baby in their cot before going to sleep, or maybe when they've just woken up. But we're about to have shavasana, so and as we pull our feet down, feel a nice stretch. And you can also feel your spine nice and long and the sacrum flat against the mat. And then we'll release, and now's your time to put your jumper on, or you can even make yourself nice and snuggly with a rug, and just slowly roll your body down to the mat and make yourself comfortable. Making any last minute adjustments. Tucking yourself up with lots of love. Letting the toes splay out to the sides of the mat. Rolling our shoulder blades down. And just opening up our palms to the top of the room. And then just laying in a state of absolute surrender and relaxation. And bringing in the air down through our spinal column, all the way down, filling up our belly. Noticing how our belly rises on inhale and exhales and comes back towards our spine on the exhale. Again, bringing all the air in. Noticing the belly rise and fall. Now bringing awareness to your toes and filling your toes up with golden light of healing energy. As we come up to our toes, we squeeze them on the inhale, and on the exhale we release the toes, release any tension. We'll continue that way up the body, like coming up to our whole foot, squeezing the feet, and then on the exhale, releasing and relaxing the muscles. And then we continue coming up the backs of the calves, squeezing the calves on the inhale, and then relaxing, releasing the muscles on the exhale. And the healing energy comes all the way up to the backs of our hamstrings, squeezing our hamstrings, and then releasing on the exhale. And squeezing the tops of our thighs, the quadriceps, and then releasing the muscles. Long, slow breath out, feeling how relaxed our legs can feel against the mat. Moving to the bottom, squeezing our bottom, squeeze, 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 and then exhale, releasing and relaxing the muscles. And then coming to the back, and the bottom of our spine, the lumbar spine, squeezing the bottom of the spine, and then relaxing. And then bringing awareness to our sacral area, in our pelvis, squeezing the lower abdomen and the pelvis, And releasing any tension that we hold there. And continuing to our belly button, the middle of our body. Squeezing and then release. And then continuing up to our chest. Squeezing the chest, fill it up with lots of healing, love, and exhaling and releasing. And the top of our spine, the thoracic spine, squeezing the shoulder blades, and then releasing and relaxing. And then noticing all of our torso, or the middle of our body, how relaxed the spine and the hips can feel against the earth. And then continuing to send healing energy into our fingers of both hands, feeling up the fingers, feeling up the palms, squeezing our hands. And then releasing on the exhale, letting all the tension drip away from all of our fingers. Continuing up our arms, bottom of our arms, squeeze, squeeze, and then the tops of our arms, and we release. And feeling how the tops of our hands and our arm, feeling the connection of our body to the earth, and how relaxed our muscles can feel against the ground. And then we'll continue up our shoulders and the back of our neck, squeezing the back of our neck and the connection of where our spine meets our skull, the occipital lobe. Squeezing that point and then releasing. And even trying the front of our throat, feeling all the muscles there and seeing if we can relax them as well in the exhale. And then continuing to our face, squeezing the eyebrows and release, and the eyes and release, and the mouth and release. And see if you can squeeze up everything in your whole face, squeezing it all. Big squeeze, keep inhaling and then release. Feeling everything soften your whole face. And then one last one, squeezing everything up in your whole body, squeezing everything from your head into your toes, squeezing, including your fists. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And then one final release and relax. And just laying here for one more minute. In total relaxation. And I'll wake you in a moment. But for now, just take this time to take care of yourself and feel your body melt away into the mat. And then start to notice your belly rising and falling. Bringing awareness back into the breath. Filling up the whole body with golden energy and light. And exhaling again. And then wiggling your toes. And wiggling your fingers. Maybe doing a few little rotations. Maybe stretching one leg and then the other leg. Just doing whatever feels nice to wake up the body. And stretching above your head. Nice long stretch from head to toe. And then bringing your feet up so your knees are bent. Dropping your hips to one side and making a little pillow with your hands. Just laying here in the fetal position. And then breathing through your nose and through your mouth. Nice, slow, long and deep breaths. And keeping the eyes closed, pushing your body away so that you can come back up to a seated position. Start rubbing your hands together, building a bit of heat. And then placing your hands on your face and just letting a tiny bit of light come in between the fingers, softly blinking open the eyes. Still keeping them nice and heavy. And then maybe giving your face a little massage. And then moving to the top of the neck and the shoulders. Just give yourself a bit of love and attention. So making sure that we're caring for ourselves at the moment. Listening to what our body is telling us. Taking the time to release any bits of tension that we're holding. And then releasing the hands and bringing our hands into our chest. And then just inhaling lots of love and compassion and gratitude for firstly yourself for showing up, and then also everyone else in our community. And then just ending with the thought that being at peace is our greatest strength. Namaste.